One of the fundamental conceptions of soul psychology, not human psychology, which is Freud, Jung, and this type of thing. Soul psychology understands faculties. There's different faculties in our psyche, different parts of our brain, and different parts of the brain control different kinds of people. This Western psychology does not understand. They don't resolve many people's problems. Psychology doesn't deserve the good name that it has because they don't understand the duality between master faculties and slave faculties in the brain or in the psyche. We have different kinds of humans. Some humans are ruled by the head, reason. Some are ruled by the emotions. Some are ruled by animal sentiments, sex, money, power, this type of thing. Some are physical, like Jean-Claude Van Damme is a physical growth. It's a physical mind kind of person. He's not an emotional, phenom. So we have to understand what is the master faculty of the soul and what are the consequences of this master faculty dominating the soul, which means the master faculty creates slave faculties. And the slaves react differently to different people. Some faculties, when they become slaves of the master faculty, don't like it. They don't just get depressed. They become insane. They become criminal. They can even go into crazy sexual behavior. Right? A slave does not always accept being a slave. And a lot of the problems that we have in humanity is the conflict between the master faculty and the slave faculties. This is a lot more advanced understanding of what's going on in the human psyche. How is it that the master faculty is built? Why does somebody become a head person or an emotional person or an animal type person or a physical type person, like a bodyguard type person? It depends on the environment, depends on the family, it depends on the school system. The school system, for example, is a source of becoming a master faculty in the heart and in the head, never in the animal and the physique. That is on the street. The street will make you more animal and more physical because the street is very difficult. The real master faculty, the real subject is the soul. The soul has to live through these four faculties: reason, emotion, animal, and physique. So it has to develop somewhere, and it really should develop the whole psyche at the same time. You need reason, you need emotion, you need animal, you need physique. All faculties are equals to the soul. One is not superior to the other. This is a new understanding. The soul needs all of its brain to function. It doesn't need half of its brain. I mean, a lot of people will develop an emotional faculty that is mastered, especially in the white race. In the white race, emotions is the dominant faculty built around family, country, race, right? Marriage, this type of thing. That becomes the invested ego. The identity of the soul is emotional, and it'll grow those emotions using all other faculties as servants or slaves. That's how it works. So the soul is being taken over by one faculty, which is bad because the soul doesn't want to be taken over by any faculty. It wants to live in its own self. The soul wants to thrive through the faculties, but instead the faculties thrive through the soul. This is what happens in humanity. What happens in the human psyche is that the slave faculties, and usually there's three of them, one becomes a master and makes three slaves, right? One of these slaves sometimes becomes so unhappy, so belittled, so weak, It doesn't eat, it doesn't get any kind of attention, and it becomes a rebel. It starts getting angry, it starts getting rage. There's a lot of people getting very depressed. The depression turns to rage. That rage is the source of insanity and criminality and all other kind of crazy behaviors in humanity. It's when the slave faculty freaks out and starts rebelling against the master faculty. It's just like a master and slave in humanity. If you make a slave out of a human, one day that slave can rebel and kill the master. Well, this is what happens in the psyche. Western psychology has not understood this type of thing. All this type of schizophrenia that takes place or polar behavior that takes place is because of the conflict in the faculties, internal conflicts that become a divided self. In humanity, we are mostly divided self. We love one part of the psyche and we hate the other part of the psyche. We pay attention to one part of the psyche and we don't pay attention to the other part. This contrast creates the conflict because all faculties are like horses. They all want to eat. If you don't feed a horse long enough, it's going to get angry. It's going to get sick, and it's going to make the soul very, very sick. That's the key to understanding the master-slave faculty of the psyche, which is a new understanding. This understanding arose from my experience in spirituality and my personal life. And I believe that this conception is superior to the present conceptions of Western psychology.